I've spent 30 years figuring out what makes people click on ads. And sometimes, the answer has nothing to do with fancy formulas or spreadsheets. Sometimes, you just need to ask the right questions about your audience, like whether they're a rat, a pig, or a snake. Confused? Stick around and let me explain. Hey, I'm Terence. Welcome to my podcast. I run a digital marketing agency that partners with high-ticket coaches and creators who want to scale with paid ads. And today, I want to tell you how we slash a client's ad costs by 73%. So this client is a Chinese metaphysics coach based in Singapore. He teaches something called QiMen. Now, if you've never heard of QiMen, imagine if astrology and chess had a baby. It's an ancient system for timing your decisions based on energy cycles. When should you ask for a raise? When should you launch your product? When should you avoid signing contracts? That's what he helps people figure out. Fascinating stuff if you're into it. Completely foreign if you're not. And that's the challenge, right? How do you advertise something this niche? We'd been running ads for this guy for a couple of years. And for most of that time, things were solid. But recently, cost per lead started creeping up. Ads that used to perform were showing fatigue. The numbers weren't disastrous, but the trajectory wasn't great. So we needed fresh ideas, and we needed them fast. So we're in our weekly strategy meeting, and everyone's brainstorming. Someone pulls out data sheets. Someone else suggests we test the latest memes. Everyone was looking a little crazy with bugged out eyes and probably a bit less hair at this point. But we still don't have a concrete big idea. Then someone casually mentions, "Damn, rats are apparently gonna have a rough year in 2026. Quick context here. The rat is one of the zodiac animals in Chinese astrology. And this guy was just reading about his luck forecast for 2026. And that kind of triggered everyone else. I wonder how goats are gonna do. Yeah, I'm curious too. What about mine? And that's when it clicked. We're targeting people in Singapore, which has a significant Chinese population. People who actually know and believe in Chinese astrology. If they're into QiMen, they're probably into this stuff too. They check their zodiac forecasts. They think about what the year holds for their sign. With Chinese New Year around the corner, there's a question already sitting in the back of their minds. What does 2026 mean for my sign? We don't have to create that curiosity. It already exists. So what if we made ads that answered that exact question? Not vague stuff like discover your destiny or manifest abundance. What if we said something like, tigers, dogs, and goats, 2026 could be your breakout year. Here's why. That's specific. That's personal. A slice of people would see that headline and immediately think, that's my sign. I need to know what this is about. So we built the ads. Each one called out different clusters of zodiac signs with different visuals, some mystical, some playful. One showed animals pushing a boulder uphill in 2025 and then coasting downhill, sipping champagne in 2026. In the copy, we'd tell them what 2026 had in store for their sign and then transition into how QiMen could help them navigate their business, career, and relationships, no matter what conditions they were facing. And we made it even more powerful by tying it to the year of the fire horse. So, quick context. 2026 is the year of the fire horse in Chinese astrology. And it's kind of a big deal because it only happens once every 60 years. The horse symbolizes raw energy. Fire amplifies it. So everything's supposed to be wild and unpredictable. In the copy, we mention how, in the year of the fire horse, you're basically flying blind if you don't know how to navigate the chaos. No matter how lucky your zodiac sign is, you could either win big or shoot yourself in the foot. And that's why you need QiMen in your life. Results came back within a week. Average cost per lead dropped from about $60 to $16. That's a 73% reduction. Click-through rates were insane, and our client got a flood of leads for their QiMen webinar. Now you might be thinking, cool story, Terence, but I don't teach Chinese metaphysics. How does this help me? Fair question. Let me break down what actually happened here, because these principles apply to almost any market. First, identity is magnetic. When you call out a specific group by name, by characteristic, by tribe, something happens in the brain. It's almost involuntary. Snakes, goats, and monkeys isn't speaking to everyone. It's speaking to maybe a quarter of the population. But for that quarter, it's impossible to ignore. It's the same reason why, attention, dads who own a Ford in Ohio works better than, attention, guys in Ohio. One feels like a mass broadcast. The other feels like a tap on the shoulder. You're trading reach for resonance, and resonance converts. Second, enter existing conversations. Eugene Schwartz wrote about this decades ago, and it's still the most underused concept in advertising. The easiest sell you ever make is to someone who's already thinking about the problem you solve. You're not creating demand, you're capturing demand that already exists. With Chinese New Year approaching, our audience was already wondering about the year ahead. We didn't have to convince them to care. We just showed up at the right moment and said, "Hey, you're probably wondering about this. We have answers." That's it. That's the whole play. Third, beliefs are shortcuts to trust. Every audience has beliefs, things they hold to be true without needing proof. For this audience, zodiac signs aren't just entertainment. They're a lens for understanding the world, timing, luck, cycles of fortune. And when your messaging aligns with those existing beliefs, you skip the hardest part of marketing, which is convincing people. You're not arguing with them, you're confirming what they already suspect. And confirmation creates trust instantly. So ask yourself, what does your audience already believe? What frameworks do they use to make sense of their world? If you can tap into that, your marketing becomes a lot less like pushing a boulder uphill. One more thing before we wrap up. This breakthrough only happened because we went back to basics. We were getting lost in data and spreadsheets. And sure, those things matter. But sometimes you just need to step back and ask, what is this customer actually interested in? Sometimes the best marketing ideas are hiding in plain sight, in the things your audience already talks about, already believes, already wonders about. You just have to pay attention. That's it for this one. If this sparked any ideas, hit subscribe. I share stuff like this regularly. Hope it helped you out in some way. See you in the next episode.